There is nothing to worry about. You're gonna be just fine.
You'd be surprised at the things you find when you go looking.
God, it knows I'm here.
Clear your minds. It knows what scares you. It has from the very beginning.
Plunging headfirst into some kind of black void of sheer, utter madness.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
It is entitled Naturan de Manto, roughly translated Book of the Dead.
You're gonna die up there.
I've got to return some videotapes.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, I'm Joe.
And I'm Chris.
And this is In the Veins.
In the Veins. And today we're talking about a big one.
Big one.
A real big one. What are we talking about today, Joe?
We are talking about 1984's A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah. Hard to point at a more influential horror movie. I mean, there's a lot of big ones. You can argue what's the most. Like, we started out with Evil Dead. That's big. But
Sure. Absolutely.
Nightmare on Elm Street changed a lot of shit in the horror world.
It did. My wife and I were just talking about it just before I came up here to start recording, actually, because it's 84, right? It's not, like we really get the birth of the slasher in the very late 70s.
Yeah.
I think Black Christmas was 77.
Well, we got Halloween and we got
Halloween.
Friday the 13th are already out there.
Yeah, by the time this came out, like Halloween or Friday the 13th 4 came out the same year as Nightmare on Elm Street.
So yeah, Jason's in his mask now.
Yeah, we had us fully established the franchises at that point. But it is definitely like distinctive and different because with Michael Myers or with Jason Voorhees, it was more about like just like let's line up some bodies and find some creative ways to kill them.
Yeah.
I feel with Nightmare on Elm Street, we were like, hey, what if this guy has like a personality? What if he's not just a shape or a figure under a mask? What if he's something else? What if that's part of it?
Well, yeah, and he's, there's some background to how he got this way. I mean, he was already, the background only goes back to where he was already a shitty murderer.
Right.
But you get how that ended up with him being this supernatural, burnt up dream demon. But in the others, we also had Texas Chainsaw Massacre by now too.
That's true. Yeah.
As a kid watching horror movies, I didn't watch a lot of horror movies as a kid. And it was because when I did watch them, it screwed with me. Like Nightmare on Elm Street was terrible for my parents because, I was born in '79, so I was 5 when this came out. I probably didn't know anything about it. We lived on Elm Street in Springfield. And my parents in Springfield, Missouri, and my parents actively blocked me from anything Nightmare on Elm Street related.
Well, that's a
and then later when we weren't living there anymore, neighbors on the street were older than me, and I'd go to their house and they'd be watching this stuff because their parents let them, and it messed me up. Like the fact that checking under your bed and keeping the lights on doesn't help because he's getting you because you're asleep. That was a problem for me.
Right.
It
is funny because the parents keeping it from you is a part of it too.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. But also, my memories from that era of the 80s as a kid of the big horror movie characters before I even knew what they were about. I knew what they looked like because they all had an iconic either mask or just face. Freddy's face is his whatever. And they all had an iconic weapon. Mike Myers, they all kill with a bunch of different stuff. Mike Myers, though, is a kitchen knife.
Right.
And, Jason's a machete.
Yeah.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre, obviously.
I was talking about this too. It's also a thing of the market saturation back then was a completely different creature than it is today.
Yeah.
There was Freddy fucking everything back
everywhere.
Then. And
he went on talk shows.
You could even in just in terms of kids' properties and stuff, you can't go to the store now and find Ninja Turtles, Transformers, RoboCop, Terminator, Smurfs.
Yeah,
bedding,
yeah, you don't get
lunch boxes. The way
and
that
if you do, it's a retro kitsch kind of thing,
right? The way you could wrap your whole life in these characters back then is insane to think about because the properties became more and more saturated in the market. They became more recognizable. They made more money, and suddenly you have to pay more for the rights. Ironically enough, that pushes it out of retailers' hands.
The iconic, slasher design became a big part of that marketing. You got a signature look.
Yes.
You got Freddy's hat. You got the burns. You got the glove.
Especially
the glove.
The glove and the hat were a big part of it.
But there was a Will Smith video. I mean,
there was a Nintendo video game.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy sauce.
Yeah.
It was it was a time when it was like, what's it rated? Who cares? Market it to children because kids are going to know what it is anyway. And that's just the way it goes.
This was the era where we had RoboCop and Rambo cartoons on Saturday morning. R-rated movies, violent, bloody, 100 dead bodies in the first half of the movie. And that's your Saturday morning cartoon.
It's amazing because like Rambo was clearly built on like, not to get into Rambo too much, but it's clearly built on like First Blood Part 2 and the following sequels. Because if you watch the original First Blood, it's like, look, this has nothing to do with what children are involved with. This is about
he doesn't really kill anybody.
And...
It's this fucked up soldier just trying to be left alone, and they just push him too far.
Yeah.
No. And then in 2 is when you get the red headband.
Yes.
The
let's go somewhere and kill a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Get
again, they did the 80s was all about these. You had to have an iconic image. Not that you don't still, but I feel like it was specifically big. Commando. You can remember that poster, the paint on his face, the black vest, the gun,
and the rocket launcher on his shoulder.
Yeah.
Stick around.
Get to know.
Or no, let off some steam. That's it. Let off some steam. God, we have to find a way to do an Arnie movie here. We have to.
End of Days.
Could be.
It's a horror movie,
and it qualifies.
Predator could, maybe. It's a sci-fi, but it's also a monster movie. It's sci-fi action soldier, but it's monsters. I'm just saying.
Maybe I don't know. We'll see.
Dog Soldiers is a bunch of soldiers getting picked off by a supernatural monster thing.
I would codify Dog Soldiers as action horror and more action than horror, like a 60-40 split. Yeah. So we'll talk about that.
We'll figure it out. Hey, Nightmare on Elm Street, though.
A Nightmare on Elm Street. November 17th, 1984.
A day before my birthday.
16th, 84, I believe.
2 days before my birthday.
2 days before your birthday. And this is interesting for like the year of 1984, which 84 and 85 we've talked about, huge years for movies.
Yeah.
It was 99th for 84 because it came out in November. So most of its run was actually in 85, which is also a crazy thing to think about these days because movies, you're lucky if they stay in the theater a month.
But it also got swamped by whatever was dominating Christmas.
Absolutely.
That used to matter.
Yeah. So then it was 48th, I believe, for 1985 because Back to the Future came out. So
okay.
That's how that goes.
It's a much narrower audience. Everybody can go to Back to the Future, but you can't take the kids to Nightmare on Elm Street. They're always going to do some lower numbers,
That's just R-rated stuff, man. Like it is what it is. Budget of around 1.8 million. Ended up grossing, I think, right around 25 million. So obviously that's why we got a franchise.
Of course.
It was the movie that saved New Line Cinema, for crying out loud.
The house that Freddie built.
Starring, and I'm going to try to put these in order that they're on the poster because it tickles me. John Saxon is Lieutenant Donald Thompson. Ronnie Blakely as
of
Marge
Enter the
Thompson.
Dragon fame.
Yes. Heather Langenkamp as Nancy Thompson. Amanda Wyss as Tina Gray. Jesus Garcia as Rod Lane. And Johnny Depp as Glenn Lance. And, of course, Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger.
The man.
The man, the myth, the legend. God. I was just watching the latest episode of The Devil in Silver, which I think has 2 more episodes to go. It's the latest season of The Terror. And there's a character in it who's he's like a evil psychiatrist, and he's kind of an older guy with gray hair and everything. And all I'm thinking the entire time is, this could have been Robert Englund. This could have been Robert Englund. This could have been Robert Englund. And I'm waiting for a reason for it not to be Robert Englund, and I haven't found one yet, and I'm getting a little upset.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we were just talking about how the Kickstarter apparently is going well for Behind the Mask sequel. That was a great Robert Englund role because he gets to be the other side of the slasher.
He gets to be Loomis, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
It's a tremendous thing for him. I love Robert Englund. He's fantastic.
Well, and up to this point, he was known for being in V, The Final Battle.
Yes.
And he'd been in other stuff. He was a working actor, but he wasn't a name.
He was not a name. He was not a leading man.
Yeah.
This really made his whole career, and he banged a career out of it.
Yeah.
I've had the good fortune of meeting him at a convention.
Yeah.
He's a sweet guy.
I'm jealous.
He's wherever you go, whatever you're doing, he is talking to somebody. He is telling a story. He is drawing an audience. He's awesome. His wife is awesome too. His wife is actually named Nancy. She's pretty cool. Yeah, no notes on Robert Englund, man. But this cast is really, really good, actually.
Oh, it's an incredible cast.
And then Ronnie Blakely's in it too, so that's cool.
Who? Oh,
Ronnie Blakely. Not to shit on Ronnie Blakely.
She just hams it up.
It's just I was saying this last night while we're watching it. Like, it's like she's in another movie, and
It's like she's in a movie in the 50s.
Yeah,
like she kind of does like her mannerisms and stuff, and how she like. Yeah, she's just a little off.
Much. Yeah,
but she's also supposed to be hammered drunk through the whole thing. So
that was my wife's point of, but she's supposed to be drunk, and I'm like, she's also supposed to be like a living human being. So
well, sure, but she's a living human being that hides her vodka in the laundry closet or the towel closet right outside her bedroom when she's single. I mean, why not just hide the vodka in your bedroom?
And I have seen Ronnie Blakely in a few other things, and she is legitimately a good actress. So everything that she is doing is a choice that she's making.
Yeah.
So I will give her that. Written and directed by Wes Craven, of course, famously.
And his only big thing up to this point really had been Last House on the Left, I believe.
Which is
he'd done other stuff.
A masterpiece, no doubt. But yeah.
It had an impact too. I mean, it was a significant
horror
movie, and he contributed some ideas, I guess, for Friday the 13th. He was already sort of tied into what was going on in horror.
Yeah.
At the time that this came out. But
yeah. I mean, what can you say about Wes Craven? He gave us Nightmare on Elm Street, he gave us Scream, he gave us so much. Tremendous guy. But yeah, so what else do we have to say? Do I have anything to say before we get into this? I don't think I do. Anything major?
Really? I mean, we already covered that it saved New Line. Like, there were a lot of people that didn't know. Apparently, a lot of people didn't think this movie, like, this idea was going to work.
Oh, I mean, it's a slasher movie in what at the time was already kind of like a sea of slashers. You know what I mean? The idea that it's going to make an impact when you're already going up against Mike Myers and Jason Voorhees that's a lot to swallow.
Yeah. It's also, I mean, it's a weird sort of, Wes Craven's is a weird person in the world at this time. I mean, he's this college professor turned filmmaker who lived in the same building as the dude that made Friday the 13th, who made this brutal rape, murder, revenge movie.
Mm-hmm.
That really is pretty lowbrow. I mean, it's a technically great movie, but it's not. It doesn't require a lot of thought, you know.
No, it's the early '80s version of the Count of Monte Cristo. It's an interesting revenge story.
Yeah.
And it has a little bit more substance than, say, like I Spit on Your Grave, I think.
Yeah.
But it's still
well, and he'd done The Hills.
Cinema.
He'd already done The Hills Have Eyes, I think, too.
Right.
So, I mean, he's jumping around in different things, but it's always brutal and violent. But he's this highly educated person who's coming in with this weird idea based on, Asian dudes dying in their sleep and a dream a memory he has of a creepy dude outside his house as a kid and a dream that he had. And he's putting all this stuff together into this really cool, new look at what slashers are. And like you said, it's a sea of slashers. How do you stand out?
And I think it's an interesting script. Like when I first saw this, because I didn't see these movies back when I was a kid. When I first started dating my wife, she kind of just sat me down and made me watch all of the Nightmare on Elm Street. For which I am eternally grateful.
Of course. I mean, you are still married to her.
Yeah, right. But the context for just the first film by itself, it's an odd script because it's got all of these surrealist dream qualities to it, and not just in the dream sequences. And in fact, you get to a point in the last 5-10 minutes of the movie where reality breaks down. And it's a real question of are people going to go for this? Because this isn't what we typically think of for this kind of movie.
Yeah. Well, and it opens with Tina. But, we get Tina before we get Heather.
We get the psycho bait and switch.
Yeah. Which they actually, I honestly think, for both of our listeners, the the very first episode that we ever recorded for this podcast was a compare and contrast, really, of this movie and its remake.
Yes.
And
it took us 3 hours.
It was brutal. It's now the lost episode because we lost it on purpose.
Yeah.
But one thing that I really noticed in that watching of the remake was how long you stick with the Tina. I can't even remember if she was named Tina in the remake, but they really work hard to make her seem like the final girl up to the point that she gets killed in that. Yeah. And I think going back and watching this one now again, I realized that they did do that in this. You open with Tina.
They do.
There is the bait and switch. There is
a little bit of legwork to kind of ease you into Heather coming in center of the story, I feel like.
Yeah.
Showing her as kind of the more innocent one and all that jazz. But she
doesn't really take over until Tina gets killed. But you do know she's the chaste one. You know, she's the good girl. And you find that out for sure right before Tina gets killed.
The first scene that Tina isn't actually in. The first time that Tina's not on screen.
Yeah.
But let's start. So
let's get into it.
A Nightmare on Elm Street. We get our opening. We get credits. Because that's how you start a movie, and we get them over the building of the glove, it's one of the things I love about this is like we're going ahead and we're showing you something even while we're rolling credits. We see Freddy's just his hands as he kind of shapes the metal and pull and assemble and puts in the knives and everything and assembles his glove. It's really cool. It's really fun.
What's funny is they show like an assortment of knives, like he picks up the straight razor blade and everything, and there's steak knives. What they don't show is a single one of the actual kind of knives that they used to make it, which were tomato cutting knives.
Right.
Like a very specific kind of tomato knife with the right curve and width to the blade.
It's got to have that profile, baby.
Yeah.
It's awesome. But it's very cool. It gets you in there. It gets you in the right headspace. And we go from that into Tina's nightmare, which I think we still get some credits over that even. And it's just, it's very simple. It's her just being chased through the boiler room, Freddy's boiler room. We get little glimpses of Freddy here and there. Kind of what would become the typical Freddy toying with his victims.
Yeah, the cat and mouse. Yeah, in his world,
scratching his nails along metal and stuff to make a screeching noise, and laughing and such, and his voice coming from different angles and all this. And just as she gets cornered and he kind of reveals himself, Tina wakes up screaming in her own bed, and her mother comes in and tells her that hey, if you're gonna dream like that, you gotta cut your nails, because she has lashes in her nightgown, as though from Freddy's glove.
Yeah, I think she tells her either cut your nails or stop having nightmares.
Right.
Like, like that's just an option.
It's this whole thing of like adults versus kids and the whole thing.
Yeah,
like, they're just never gonna get it.
Well, the adults are always letting the kids down here.
Yeah, big time. The next day at school, Tina sees her friends, her best friend Nancy. Nancy's boyfriend, Captain Jack Sparrow. I'm sorry, Glenn, who's not an.
You mean the Mad Hatter?
Yeah, well, he's not an undercover cop.
You mean Sweeney Todd?
He's not an undercover cop. He's a normal, average teenager.
Yeah, he just likes to talk into his collar. That's all.
That's all. Do you guys have any boof balls or?
Do you have any marijuana cigarettes?
Johnny Depp is in this movie.
For the very first time, Johnny Depp is in a movie.
That's right. He's
because Wes Craven's daughter thought he was dreamy.
Because he is. We also meet her bad boyfriend Rod.
Yeah.
She talks about her nightmare with Nancy, and it becomes very clear very quickly that they're having the same dreams or dreaming of the same figure.
Well, we don't quite get there in this scene.
We get little hints and stuff.
She's having a nightmare, but we don't get the, oh my God, I had the same nightmare until
that's true.
A little bit later.
That's like the next scene. But that she had a nightmare, and then we very casually get that like Glenn had a nightmare, Rod had a nightmare, everybody had a nightmare last night. And then Tina makes a joke at Rod's expense about the size of his dick. Because she's classy, and he walks away kind of pissy, like you do.
Well, I mean, to be fair, he showed up talking about his dick.
That is also true.
The first thing he
Well-
said was about his dick. So he opened that door.
He did. And she closed it.
She
on his
did.
dick.
On his dick.
So we cut from that to a sleepover at Tina's. She her mom is away because her mom is just out of town.
Yeah, no, her
Whatever.
mom just fucked off to Vegas with the boyfriend.
Yeah, and so Nancy's going over to Tina's to keep her company. Glenn is coming because Nancy's there.
Yeah.
And we get this weird little bit of silly business as Glenn tries to convince his mother, because it's like no mother is going to let her son sleep over at a house with two teenage girls, one of whom is his girlfriend. And the other is honestly Tina. She's a little wild. And so he has to, she believes he has a cousin who lives near the airport. So he has a special effects sounds tape that he plays on his boombox.
Yeah.
Of planes landing.
Yeah.
As he talks on the phone to his mom, like, hey, I'm here. Yeah, it's loud like always. And then the effects tape keeps going, and there's like cars racing, and then a wreck, and then people shooting.
And he's trying to keep up with it, telling his mom what's going on.
It's so dumb. It is so dumb. Finally, he hangs up with her, and that's when we hear a soft scraping noise, and it's coming from the backyard. And since Glenn is the guy, he has to go see what it was.
Yeah. He's
so
the
Glenn,
big, tough athlete.
He is. So Glenn, clearly uncomfortable with the situation, walks out in the backyard, and we get, I looked it up. This is from a cat food commercial. Kitty, kitty, chow, chow, chow.
Yeah.
A very distinctive line. He is then unceremoniously tackled by Rod, who made the noise using a gardening hand rake.
Rod is way bigger than him and carries a switchblade, so I don't think Glenn was going to do much.
I don't think so either. But Glenn is kind of, guys and they're pissy.
His girl's there. He's got to try to be the tough guy.
Rod threatens him with a switchblade and
okay, but at this point they have talked about how they had dreams about Freddy, both of them.
That's right. While they're sitting on the couch,
right.
Tina and Nancy have a conversation about this guy. He had these claws, but they weren't or nails, but they weren't nails. They're more like finger knives. And she's like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah. So, but we talked about this in the Lost episode. I didn't think that Glenn had any dreams up to the point that he dies. But he says that thing at the beginning and then runs off, and Tina's like, wait, did you have a nightmare? But he doesn't answer, and he keeps running. And here, where they describe Freddy, he looks surprised for a second, and then he tries to change the subject.
Yeah.
So you don't ever get a full verification, but I think he's had a Freddy dream.
I think he has, but I think there's indicators along the way, because eventually we'll see that he talks about these dream skills and all this stuff, and that doesn't really bother me. I think he is better at
managing the dreams.
At managing the dreams and not letting it get to him as much.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't buy it. He doesn't believe it. Right. And he keeps telling me
he's not as afraid.
No. He doesn't think it's a serious thing. He placates Nancy and then falls asleep when he's supposed to be watching her.
Well, yeah, he's an asshole.
Well, he's an asshole, but I think part of it is that he's not taking it seriously.
Right.
Because even if he did have the same dream as them, I think he almost immediately was like, nah, it's bullshit.
Yeah. It's a very
nothing,
guy. Yeah.
There's nothing there.
No, I don't need to think about that. That's fine.
Yeah.
But
he's got to focus on getting in Nancy's pants.
That's his job.
He cannot be sidetracked.
No. So Rod and Tina go upstairs, and Rod tells them that so they're going to have sex on Tina's mother's
It's very obvious.
bed.
Yeah.
Specifically, which, first of all, that's gross. Second of all, it means that he's like, we have her mom's bedroom. You guys have the rest of the house. And then Johnny Depp, Glenn, he tries to make out with Tina a little, and she's just like, we can't. We're here for Tina. And it's like...
You mean Nancy?
Nancy.
He tries to make out with Nancy. She says we can't. We're here for Tina. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And it's like, no, that's not what that means, Nance. I don't know what you think, but that's not what's going on.
But no, they're gonna stand guard outside the door while they bone.
Glenn ends up
always on watch.
In case of question mark? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Glenn ends up on the couch listening to their sex noises.
Yeah. And talking about how morality sucks to absolutely no one.
Yep. He's a teenage boy. And thankfully we don't see Nancy during the sex noises.
No, but she is closer to them because she is in Tina's bedroom.
Bed, yes. Oh God, it's just, yeah. So
there's right, something else I noticed on this watch, which, this honestly, I think I don't know how many times I've seen this movie, but you know, we've gotten to where we watch it paying a little more attention to little shit.
Yeah.
When they're done banging.
Right.
And she's talking about nightmares or whatever, and he's all like, no, you're a dumb girl, and he rolls over to go to sleep. When he pulls on the blanket, there's 2 layers of blanket. There's the comforter, and then there's like almost like an Afghan underneath it or something.
Okay.
And he pulls that up over his shoulder, and it's red and green striped. And
That's
it's
definitely
not
on purpose.
It's not there when Tina's getting killed.
That's wild.
Because the blanket comes off, and all that's there is the comforter.
Huh? That's wild. I never noticed that. I'll have to look for that next time. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was. I saw it and was like, I never saw that before. So that was fun.
Wild.
For
That's
me.
Fun. That's cool. Yeah,
but there's a lot of little stuff like, you know, people have called bullshit on stuff throughout the years. You know, things happening in the real world that when obviously somebody isn't dreaming.
Right.
But I think that it's just that Freddy does have the ability to affect the real world. He's just stronger in the dream.
Well, I also think that it's part of the way that Wes Craven made it, where he's like, fuck rules. Like, it's going to be weird and surrealist, and we're going to have elements from both mixing in, and to the come to the end, and you don't know what you're looking at.
Yeah, you just got to strap in. But, I mean, if you're trying to make sense of it, clearly Freddy can do things to the real world. He can he can talk to you on the phone before he kills your boyfriend. You know? Like,
yeah.
And then obviously he is physically capable of being pulled into the real world. So
right. Yeah, that's wild though. That's
whatever the rules are that govern his action, there is crossover into.
Right. Rod mentions that he had bad dreams too, but refuses to talk about what dreams he had or whatever. And Nancy in Tina's bed, she's asleep, and there's a crucifix on the wall above her that falls off.
Yeah.
And
here again, this isn't a dream Nancy's having.
No. It is,
but he presses through the wall.
It's one of the more iconic effects of the film is his face and hands pushing through the wall like it's made out of spandex, because it was. And it's a cute little like show and reverse and like a misdirection and a magician's move, where like she's laying there, the wall is perfectly flat above her, the face and hands come out, and then just as she wakes up, they kind of retract back in. We cut to a close-up of her and then cut to the same medium shot again, and now the wall is solid as she like tacks the cross back up on the wall.
Taps the wall and whatever. And this is one of the biggest things for me with the remake. One of the biggest like examples to point to of why even do this?
Right.
Because they did that effect and it looked fucking amazing with a piece of spandex and a well-placed light. And in the remake, they spent God knows how much to do it with CGI, and it looked like fucking trash.
It looked like CGI.
Yeah. It looked exactly like CGI.
Yeah.
It looked awful. It was terrible, and it just made you wish you were looking at the $5 effect they did so well in 1984.
Right. It is
much like the rest of that movie.
Yes. Tina then we have Tina has another nightmare. Tina's second nightmare, her last nightmare, really.
Her final nightmare.
She's sleeping next to Rod when she's woken up by a noise at the window. It's kind of that little ting ting of like small rocks or whatever hitting the glass. And it's one of the things that, like, thank God this movie is in like on Blu-ray and HD now, because eventually one of these little whatevers embeds itself in the glass.
Yeah.
And it is a human tooth.
I didn't see that.
Yeah. Freddy is flinging teeth at her, for Christ's sake. It's just the extra fucking weird. She kind of sees the thing and like away from it. And then she goes outside because she hears her name being called. She goes out to the alley behind her house, and that's when Freddy shows up. And his arms stretch to fill the alleyway. It's a weird cheesy effect.
It is. It's not good.
It's crazy, but it's one of those like,
and they did it with guys with
over
like
anything else,
like fishing poles holding the arms up, and it's creepy. It's a dream, but what really is dumb is the way he runs after his arms go back to normal. And I watched this. My 11-year-old Olivia wants to watch horror movies, so we're sort of like slow rolling into them, and she wanted to watch this with me, so we watched it.
Okay.
And I was worried because it messed me up as a kid, but I was like 7-ish when it screwed me up.
Yeah.
She's good. It didn't give her nightmares or anything.
That's
she thought
good.
it was hilarious. She thought it was funny. Like
that's the right response.
Yeah.
That's good. That's awesome.
But especially here where the arms go back to normal and he's running behind her. And I think
he does this kind of jig down the alley at her.
Yeah. And I still think that he had to move at a speed that he wouldn't catch up to her.
Right.
Like, the actors had to
right
move at a certain speed
for sure,
so that he didn't just overtake her immediately. And I think Robert Englund was trying to do something back there where he wasn't just walking in slow motion. And for better or worse,
because just standing there in like normal walk, like that's not Freddy at all. Like he's there, he's jovial, he's having fun, he's got that whole like I'm gonna get you vibe, and so that's part of that too. There is a little bit of that like adult chasing a toddler, like monster's coming for you kind of thing.
But he doesn't
very silly.
Mike Myers and Jason, silent, solemn, stalking.
Yes,
that's not our guy.
Freddy does not stalk. And it's interesting
he hurts.
Because
sometimes he hurts.
Sometimes. And he doesn't even do a lot of chasing, to be honest. He more of what he does is you run from him and he just pops up somewhere else closer to you.
Well, that's why I'm saying he herds. Like he'll cut you off and make you redirect.
Right.
He'll and it's always in a dream space, so he can make it whatever he wants.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like he needs you to go in that direction. But it always feels like he's, cutting you off, and now you got to run that way. And then he's going to cut you off, and then you're going to go to a dead end, and then he's going to.
It's really cat and mouse. And mouse is where it begins and ends, because it's him just toying with his prey in the purest sense of it. So he kind of herds her back to her own house, and in the backyard he pops out from behind a tree, like an impossibly skinny tree. He just emerges out of it. Excuse me. He then proceeds to. Hey, look at this. And he stops and he uses his knife hand to cut off several of his own fingers on the other hand. And then green blood spurts out and laughs. It's one of those things, that they do in horror movies.
I get it. Like you said on Leprechaun that you don't know why they do that. It's to screw with them. It's to mess with your head. It's hey,
weird.
Look at me. I'm
crazy.
freaky.
I'm a nut. Yes, I accept this. She tries to run, but he tackles her. It just running jive tackles her, and she grabs. I think this is when she grabs at his face, and his whole face slips off.
Just
his
slides
skull.
off. Yeah.
We're showing his cackling skull underneath. We then cut to in bed with Ron, and Tina is just thrashing violently.
Mm-hmm.
And as Rod kind of wakes up and starts freaking out, but he can't wake her up, and then she starts to levitate.
Yeah.
Which is, she starts to rise into the air, and slashes start appearing on her body. There's blood everywhere. She hits the ceiling, is pulled across the ceiling. There's a wonderful moment where she's reaching out to Rod and calling to him for help, and Rod is screaming his head off because what can he do?
This is a real famous effect, and they built the entire room on a gimbal, so the whole room. But it's an idea stolen from an old Fred Astaire movie where he dances up the walls.
Yes.
And so Rod, you're seeing over his shoulder, he's strapped into a harness.
He's actually upside down. Yeah.
Yeah, and the room's rotating and the camera and he stay locked in as the room rotates. And it's cool. It looks cool.
It's very cool.
Amazing.
It's very effective. We'll reuse that room, redressed as Glenn's room later for his death. But essentially, once she's dead, she falls in a bloody mess back on the bed. And by the time Nancy and Glenn finally get the locked bedroom door open, the window is broken, Rod is gone, and they're just left with Tina's corpse. So we cut to the police.
Glenn does bust through that door like a man, though.
He does. Well, he's not a complete weakling. He's not completely ineffective.
He's a little twiggy. Young Johnny Depp was a skinny little dude.
Yeah, but he's an athlete, Rod's bigger, sure, but he's also 27. He's been in high school for a long time.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah. But he's also been arrested for brawling, so he wears a dangerous guy. He wears leather, Joe.
Jacket and has a switchblade, Chris.
Yeah.
Come on.
Whatever.
We cut to the police station, and Nancy's mom shows up to get Nancy, and Nancy is talking about the whole affair to a detective who is, in fact, her father.
Yep.
Her parents are split up.
John Saxon.
John Saxon at his Saxonist. The parents are split up, and there are little barbs. It's very fun because there are little barbs back and forth about how bad of a parent Mark is.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you're absentee. You're always at the police station, dude. Like, what do you expect?
Yeah, he's basically like, this is why I left you. Like,
Yeah.
have another drink.
Yes. Yeah, have another drink, drinky. Nancy's father is pretty certain that Rod killed Tina, and Nancy just doesn't think Rod's capable of it.
I mean, you know, the logic of he was in a locked room, he has a switchblade,
What
she's
is he
dead, and he
supposed to
ran
think?
away.
And she was killed with a knife. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, case closed. So Marge takes Nancy home. And the next morning, Nancy still hasn't slept and is wakes up like, I'm ready to go to school. And her mom is just like incredulous at this. Like, what are you doing? You watched your best friend die yesterday. Like, go back to bed.
This was another funny thing that I noticed in this scene that I'd never noticed before. Like, the wider shot, the mom is holding a cup of coffee.
Right.
And Nancy walks up in front of her and they start talking. And then while they're talking, Nancy lifts the cup of coffee up and takes a drink. And her mom, like, notices it and snatches it back from her. Like, she like sleight-of-handed that damn thing. She picked her mom's pocket, basically, to get that coffee.
Because we're trying to sell the fact that Nancy has not slept. She is not going to sleep. She is relying on caffeine. And her mom is like, that's not healthy. You need rest. You need sleep. And, you know, she probably shouldn't be drinking that because it's probably like 40% vodka anyway.
Absolutely.
Which isn't going to help you
That's
stay
probably
awake.
why she snatched it back so fast.
Right.
Now, mind you, it's not because she didn't want Nancy to drink vodka. It's that she didn't want to waste the vodka.
Yeah, that's for mommy. That's
mommy's vodka.
Well, that's mommy's vodka. You can have all the fucking coffee you want.
Yeah. And if you want to go buy some vodka, that's also mommy's vodka.
Nancy insists that she just wants to feel normal. She's going to fucking school. So she walks out to walk to school. I have my wife insisted that I tell you this. When we were in we took a vacation to California. One of the locations we did go to was Nancy's house.
Okay.
I got my wife's picture out in front of it. It looks largely the same. Instead of a blue
red door or blue door?
It's red.
It's
blue
blue
in
in
the
the
door
movie.
now. Yes, it's blue in the movie, and there are big bushes in front of it. We tried to be respectful though, because of those people. There's people that actually live there at somebody's house.
I'm sure that people stop and take pictures every single day.
And I'm sure people call the police on people every day. Like, they're crazy.
I mean, just walked up and stopped and took a picture real quick and kept going.
Dude, I've heard horror stories about the people who own the Michael Myers house. Like, they are crazy. Anyway, if maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. I'm not trying to talk shit for our 2 listeners. I'm sure this will get back to those people. Anyhow, but we did visit that location. There's another location that I'll mention when we get there. But Nancy leaves her house. She's walking along, and she kind of notices a guy watching her as she walks, and then she looks back, and the guy's gone, and it's like, ooh, what's happening? It's kind of mysterious, kind of spooky. And then Rod jumps out of the bushes and grabs her and drags her into the shrubbery.
Right.
And he tells her all about how, like, there was somebody in there, but they were invisible. I don't know what happened. I just saw, like...
And the cuts all opened at the same time.
Yeah.
4 of them in a row.
Yes. And he's about to explain him, and Nancy's like, you just need to turn yourself in. He's like, hell no, they'll fucking put me away. There's no way they don't. Like, even Rod knows that how guilty he looks.
Yeah.
It's around that time that Nancy's dad just emerges out of nowhere with his gun drawn.
Well, so this is one of the great things about watching it with my kid. You know, it seems she said that. She's like, what? He was just in the bushes? And I had just been thinking, like, that weird dude that she saw watching her.
Yeah.
That doesn't become anything later. No, that's a cop.
That's a cop.
They're following her because they think Rod's going to come talk to her.
They knew he would talk to her.
Yeah.
They used her as bait.
And that's why, like, 3 cop cars are waiting to come swinging around the corner after he gets Saxoned in the bushes.
And, in fact, she has to use herself as a human shield to stop her father from shooting Rod as Rod runs away.
Well, it's
jumping
the
in front
80s
of
and
him.
cops hated paperwork.
Well, he also murdered a teenage girl and is on the run.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
And he just threatened
nobody's
the guy.
going to complain.
He just threatened his daughter.
Exactly. He could shoot that dude and get away with it and not have to worry about going to court
One less thing.
with the Tina thing.
It's one less thing. But so Rod tries to run. Of course, the cop cars appear out of nowhere and stop him because he doesn't even have a shirt on, much less shoes. They take him down, and Nancy figures out later than all of us that she was used as bait by her father and is upset by that. And he's like, "What are you doing going to school anyway? You should be at home."
You know what? That's a fair question, though.
Why is she going to school? That's crazy talk.
Yeah, you're a
because she
teenage
wants-
girl. Your best friend gets murdered in the house that you're in.
It's because the only thing that there is for her to do at home is to lay down and sleep, and that's
Yeah.
the she doesn't want to do. She's already afraid of sleeping.
She could mix drinks for mommy.
Mommy's not going to be there. Mommy has plenty of work to do. I don't know what her mother does. I think she tests vodkas.
She does vodkas?
She tests them. You know.
Yeah.
Uh,
This one tastes like vodka.
this one tastes like letting down my daughter and vodka. In class with teacher Lynn Shay. Hey.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, sister of Rob Shea who produced this.
Yes.
So she's been like tied to New Line since
Absolutely.
they became a thing.
Absolutely. She's
And she's had a
tremendous.
bit part in like every horror movie they made.
I think so.
And then had
Um,
significant roles in Insidious and all those.
Yeah, she's great. I love Lynn Shay.
Yeah, she is.
She's a great actress. I've seen her in a couple of other low budget stuff. She always elevates the stuff she's in. Quite honestly, she's one of those people. So in class with Lynn Shay, and they're reading Shakespeare, and there's a wonderful moment here as Nancy falls asleep because she is a teenager in class, listening to a teenage boy read Shakespeare. There is nothing that will put you to sleep faster.
Even if she had slept the night before.
Seriously. So Lynn Shay calls on some surfer boy who gets up and starts reading. I looked this up. It is a quote from Hamlet, Act 2, Scene 2. It was then that it occurred to me, like, this is tangent of tangents, that there are two things that we annotate, like name, chapter, and verse.
Mhm.
And it's like the Bible and Shakespeare. That's weird.
Yeah.
It's just weird. But anyway, the line is, "Oh God, I could be bounded in a nutshell and count myself a king of infinite space, where not that I have bad dreams." Which he delivers really well. It's a very interesting, creepy,
And it's bizarre.
bizarre moment. It's very interesting as we go into Nancy hearing Tina call her from the hallway, and she turns and sees Tina in the body bag, which is so
Yeah.
crazy and intense.
For my money, honestly, this is one of the like scariest visuals in the whole movie. Is the body bag and then the legs pop up like they've been grabbed, and she gets dragged off by nothing.
By nothing. It's
Yeah.
also like, I noticed that on this watch, there's this like blood trail from the outside of the door down the hallway, and it is like 2 feet wide, and it is red, and it is solid, and it's like it's so much blood, way more blood than a human body could contain.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it's like just like paint stripe of blood going down the hallway.
Yeah.
It's truly amazing.
It's
So
her-
she follows
It's the yellow brick road, but blood.
the bloody brick blood.
The bloody blood road.
The bloody blood road of blood. So she goes chasing after Body Bag Tina and runs headfirst into one of my favorite incarnations of Freddy, Hall Monitor.
Hall Monitor Freddy.
Hall Monitor Freddy. It is she bounces off a girl. The girl is wearing a Freddy sweater, but it's like perfect and intact. It's not like burns or holes or in it or anything.
It's the best look at the Freddy sweater you get in the whole movie.
Yes.
And it's also the only movie where the sleeves are just red. Like the rest of the movies, I
only
think the stripes go down the sleeves.
Go down
too.
the sleeves. Only the first movie do you have the all red sleeves.
Yeah.
Which you don't get a lot of because Freddy's in shadow so much.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily see it. This is, like you said, this is probably the best look you get at it. She's even got like pigtails, and the hair ties are red and green. Like, it's very cute. And so she bumps into her, and the girl's like, gives a girl a bloody nose, and the girl's like, "Where's your hall pass?" And she says, like, "Screw your hall pass." It keeps running, and she calls after her, and like, "Hey," and then she's got Freddy's voice, and she's wearing the glove, and everything. Nancy keeps following the blood trail to the school's basement, where she pulls back a curtain and enters the boiler room. And as she's looking around, Freddy kind of just emerges from behind the boilers and stuff. And she goes to turn and run, but she pulls back the curtain, and now it's a solid wall.
Yeah.
So he chases her deeper into the boiler room, where she ends up being cornered. And he's doing his Freddy thing, dragging it out and stuff, lazy. And she, in desperation, she throws her arm against one of the pipes and burns herself, and that wakes her up.
Yes.
And it is a tremendous wake up because she violently freaks out in class.
In class, yeah.
In a class that I can only imagine most of the students were falling asleep.
Absolutely.
And the teacher.
Well, yeah, and the teacher, Lynn Shay, doesn't have any idea how to deal with this.
She has nothing. She's got nothing. Like,
I'll call your mom.
I guess. You need a...
Yeah.
I'll pass.
Yeah.
It's feebly calling after her. It's great. And Nancy's just like, no, it's fine. I'm just going to go home. It's fine. So I'm just going to go home. And grabs her shit and runs. It's really fun. Outside of the school, Nancy notices that the burn on her arm is still there from the dream. This is our first indication that things can pass through or be brought through. And it also indicates if it wasn't clear enough that injuries you receive in your dreams with Freddy will affect you in the physical world. If Tina's death wasn't obvious enough.
Well, yeah, I mean, to us it's obvious, but this is Nancy getting more evidence that
that's true.
What she suspected was true.
Right.
Is,
okay.
That this guy really can kill you in your dreams.
Nancy goes to visit Rod in jail. And he confirms that he has also been dreaming of Freddy.
Mm-hmm.
And he is so despondent. And she tells him, like, no, I believe you're innocent. I know you're innocent. I'm going to try to figure it out. I'm going to try to prove this. That night, though, Nancy takes a bath. She's laying in the bathtub and is starting to drift off. And as she does, Freddy's glove emerges between her legs from behind, under the bubbles, under the water. And it's only stopped when her mom bangs on the door like, oh, honey, I brought you a warm glass of milk.
Don't drown in the bathtub, dear.
Don't drown in the bathtub. Hundreds of people do it every year. And it's just very cute because it's like, oh no.
Yeah.
It's very silly. So Nancy is, despite showing disdain for her mother's concerns, Nancy immediately falls asleep. And when she does, she is grabbed and pulled down into this like infinite void of water.
Yeah.
Where the bathtub is just this wooden little window above her and she's being drowned. And she struggles. And when she finally breaks her head free from the water, she calls for help and she's clawing at the bathtub and everything. Her mom manages to just jimmy the lock on the bed, on the door open just in time for her to come out and be like, no, it's fine. I'm cool.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Basically the same thing she did to her teacher.
Yes. It's cool. I'm fine. Like, what are you doing? Like, and poor drunk mom doesn't know. She's just like, yeah, but I don't know.
Like Nancy knows from the jump that the adults are not going to be any help in this fucking thing.
Yeah, that's been very clear. So her mom tells her, like, you need to get some sleep because sleep is important. You need to get some sleep. I'm drunk. Mm-hmm. And Nancy is drinking secret coffee. She has a whole coffee maker hidden in her room now. And she's watching.
And like No-Dos and.
Yeah. What is she watching though, Chris?
Evil Dead.
You're goddamn straight. Continuing the chain.
Yeah.
That started with Jaws. So then she
wait, what do you mean start with Jaws?
So there was a Jaws poster in the Hills of Eyes.
Okay.
So that was Hills of Eyes saying like Jaws isn't scary, we're scary.
Yeah, okay.
And then the Hills of Eyes poster was in Evil Dead. Now Evil Dead is the movie that Nancy's watching in Nightmare on Elm Street.
And then Freddy's glove is in the shed in Evil Dead 2.
Evil Dead 2, yes. Glenn shows up at her bedroom window, because he's concerned.
I've decided that what made Wes Craven's two biggest horror movies really, really work was having a dude that looks like Johnny Depp climb up to the second-story window of his girlfriend's bedroom and then not get any.
That's probably a contributing factor. That's probably a factor. Like, he comes up there and she's just like, hey, watch me sleep. Don't fall asleep. Just watch me sleep. If it looks like I'm having a nightmare, wake me up. This is your job now.
Yeah.
And he's like, great. That's what I was hoping would happen when I snuck into your bedroom.
Uh-huh.
Johnny Depp's character, by the way, lives down the street from her, like
across the street.
Distance.
Like she looks out the window and she sees his bedroom.
Yeah, like shouting distance. Like it's really ridiculous. So she says that she wants to try something. So she falls asleep, and in her sleep, She leaves her house and goes outside. And there's a very cute moment where she stops just outside her house and calls for Glenn. And Glenn just appears from behind a bush, like just walks out like, yeah. And she's like, okay, just making sure you're there. And he goes, okay. And then it goes right back behind the bush. That's
and
very
then goes
cute.
immediately to sleep.
And then immediately falls asleep. She walks to the jail where she looks in on Rod, which it's weird that you can like look in from street level down at the people in the jail. Like that's strange. You shouldn't have that in your jail. That's wrong. But she looks in and she sees Rod asleep, and she sees Kruger come in, and he just sort of like he like melts through the bars, and she calls to Glenn, but Glenn has fallen asleep. He's useless. And then she sees Tina in her body bag again, and Tina has bugs crawling out of her mouth and all around her and stuff. She's a bloody mess. And Kruger appears and lunges at her and chases her back to her house. She tries to run up the stairs, and there's a really cool moment where the stairs turn into like puddles of pancake batter. It's a very dreamlike thing, like slow motion running, like you guess.
Yeah, they're supposed to just be like melting under her feet, kind of a thing. And I guess there's some debate. Like it's either pancake batter, but Wes Craven said that it was glue and oatmeal.
Whatever.
It's gooey.
It's gooey. It's a gooey mess. Freddie breaks through the peephole to kind of reach his hand in and scratch at her and scrabble at the door. And he taunts her by wearing Tina's face.
Yeah.
It's extra disturbing. Then an alarm goes off and Nancy wakes up in bed and is pissy with Glenn for letting her fall asleep. Or falling asleep on her.
Yeah, he's in trouble.
I asked you to do one thing. And he's like, I asked you to do one thing. Where are we on that? Just look at it. That's all I'm asking. Just look at it.
Just the tip.
Just the tip. Touch the, okay. They go to the police station in the middle of the night. Her and Glenn go to the police station and insist on seeing Rod in jail. And the cops are like, what are you talking about, Nancy? And it's funny because she's the detective's daughter. Like she knows all of these cops. They all know her. They're on like first name basis and stuff. And she's just like, they're just like, come on, man. Like, you can't be like abusing your power like this. And she's like, I want to see him right now. And finally her dad comes in, and because her dad doesn't go home. This is why they got divorced. And he's like, well, okay. You can see Rod. Sure. Anything for my girl. This is why you're divorced. You're hyper indulgent. This is why you didn't get custody. And just before they can kind of get to him, actually, Rod's bed sheets twist up around his neck and pull him from his bed and hang him on the wall from the wall. And they kind of walk in on him just hanging there. It's real messed up.
It was the first time watching this. I always realized that Glenn's death, we don't see the dream. We just see the real world side of it. But I'd forgotten that this one too.
Yeah. No, we only see Tina and Nancy's dreams.
Well, actually, when Tina dies, we only see the real world part of it. At the point where she's actually getting cut up, we just see it from Rod's point of view.
We see, from there, it switches out, but we see the dream leading up to that.
I know, we see the dream leading up to it.
Yeah, mostly what we get is Nancy's dreams. So, and really, I think it's really just a matter of pacing. Like, we just got to move this shit along. Because there's stuff kind of going on in every scene. So then we go to Nancy's funeral. Or not to Nancy's funeral, Rod's funeral. And Nancy is wearing a bright blue dress. Apparently she's so innocent and carefree she doesn't even own a black dress.
No. She's not some goth girl.
No.
She doesn't listen to The Cure. She listens to Wham.
Oh my God, she does. She does. And thinks that George Michael's dreamy. The priest at the funeral, it talks about he gives a whole speech about live by the sword, die by the sword.
Which is the dumbest shit. Like it doesn't apply at all.
First of all, it doesn't apply. And second of all, dude, it is a teenage boy and his mom is here. But also, I guess everybody's assuming he's guilty. Obviously.
The murderer killed himself.
But you know what? The one place you don't have to go over that? The funeral. When you're putting him in the fucking ground. Come on. They can have 5 minutes to just grieve their son. That's kind of messed up. Just don't. You know? That's all I'm saying. Yeah. Meanwhile, Nancy's dad wants Nancy to get some rest. And her mom is like, I'm going to do better than getting her rest. I'm going to get her help. Now I have to drive there. And I'm like, no!
Yeah.
Because she is wasted, dude. She is blackout. Then we get, so this is one of my favorite.
A DUI and a cab ride later.
I'm telling you, this is one of my favorite scenes full of weird Easter eggs. The sleep doctors, like the sleep study room and stuff. So Nancy's doing a sleep study and she's a little nervous about it because every time she dreams, a psychopath emerges and tries to murder her. That's fine. Whatever. The doctor who is treating her is Roger fucking Rabbit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Charles Fleischer, for some reason, is playing the doctor. I don't know why. I don't care.
He must have been friends with somebody. He must know Wes Craven.
I mean, he's there and he's doing it. Also, it only appears in one single shot in the entire film. But the first shot of Nancy's mom and Dr. Fleischer, Dr. King, Roger Rabbit, sitting there talking about Nancy's case and whatever, blah, blah,
and
blah,
what
blah.
are dreams?
And what are dreams? Blah, 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 blah. There's a poster on the wall behind the doctor's head. And it is, I've looked it up. This is part of a series, but it is a picture of kittens on in San Francisco riding like one of like the cable cars in San Francisco.
Okay.
And it is like the kittens, like it is a San Francisco sized to kittens.
Right.
Like, it's very weird and surreal.
It's a little San Francisco kitty sized set.
Yes.
For the photographer. Yeah.
Why? It's in one shot. It's in one shot. It's so weird. It's the weirdest reference to Nightmare on Elm Street that there could possibly be, is this picture of these kittens. And I looked it up. There's an artist who did a series of cats in famous city locales exactly like this.
I mean, that's God knows how many calendars have been made on dumber premises than that.
It is like part of like the poster culture of the 80s.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird.
Yeah. And the hanging there. Cat hanging off the branch. But this scene also has one of my favorite things from 80s movies, which is smoking cigarettes in hospitals.
Yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. Blake Lively lights up like it ain't no thing, and you expect him to be like, hey, do you want to not? There's like, we're in a hospital. Like,
yeah, no, she just fires it up and he doesn't miss a beat.
No. We also, so anyway.
Reagan's mom in the hospital in Exorcist. Same situation, talking to a doctor about what's wrong with her daughter, smoking cigarettes on the other side of the window.
But those are the cigarettes that her doctor prescribed for her. Like they
probably
the throat. It's fine.
Yeah, and they keep the hysteria at bay so they don't have to lobotomize her.
Jesus Christ. So Nancy falls asleep. And they're monitoring her brain waves or whatever. I love this because it's like the weirdest, most ridiculous technobabble in the world. He's talking about her theta waves and all this jazz and her REM sleep. But then he's talking about like these numbers on screen and like she's at a 3 now. When she gets to a 5, that's a dream.
Yeah, a nightmare would be a -6.
You're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Science,
nobody knows.
Joe.
But then the numbers go, like, she starts to have a nightmare and the numbers go crazy and they never go that high.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it doesn't. So she's thrashing and she's having like a crazy violent nightmare. She's thrashing around and everything. So they get into the room to wake her up and they discover like fresh cuts on her arm. And nobody is like, wait a second, how did that happen?
Yeah, what sharp thing was there for her to cut herself on?
Weirder.
Are we really this bad at our jobs?
We really weirder still, worse at your job still. She pulls a hat out from under the fucking covers.
And she has
fedora.
A rogue streak in her hair.
Yeah, now she has a white streak in her hair.
Yeah.
Cool. She pulls a hat out from under the covers. And nobody goes like, where were you keeping that? Like, you walked into the room in pajamas with no fedora-shaped lumps under your clothing.
No.
Where did that come from? She
manifested a fedora. And I love Nancy's arc in this is just realizing she's got to deal with shit herself.
Yeah, for sure.
The whole thing. But she is also, I mean, from the time it becomes a mystery that she's trying to unravel, she's like, all right, he kills people in his dreams. I'm pretty sure I'm going to go to sleep and figure this out. And then she gets here and she doesn't want to go to sleep. And she's finally just like, fuck it, let's do this.
Yeah.
And she gets in a fight with Freddy in the dream.
This is when she figures out like, oh, I can pull things into reality from the dream.
Yeah. But she didn't know that. And she was like, you guys aren't going to shut up. Fine, I'll go to sleep. I'd rather deal with Freddy.
I mean, you're going to be right
than
there.
My drunk mom and Roger Rabbit.
If I start to have a violent dream, you're probably going to wake me up. Otherwise, I'll just die. That's fine.
We hope so. Either way. Either way, this conversation is over.
Either way, you'll stop bitching at me. I guess that's worth it. She's a lot like her dad that way.
Yeah.
Nancy and so we cut to Nancy and Glenn. They meet on this footbridge and have this conversation about like the Tibetan monks and their dream skills and I don't care. I have been to that footbridge. I sought out that specific location in California, and I have been there. That's the other location I have been to.
I have a hard time with this scene because that's a very narrow rail, and they're trusting their entire lunch to it.
Yeah, they get like fast food in bags.
He gets his stuff out. He just kind of like
rail.
drops the bag on the rail and keeps talking. And I'm just like, they're gonna lose their burgers, and that'll be sad.
Like the burgers are wrapped up. Maybe if you're really quick, you can pull them out of the water and they won't be too bad. But those fries are fucked.
You wouldn't even get down there in time. They're gone.
You probably wouldn't. Honestly, there's fish in there and stuff. Man.
Also, this is supposed to be Ohio, and there is a massive palm tree behind them in this scene.
Yeah, the location is something that's like distinctly California. Like Ohio does not have that at all. But they talk about, dream skills and how like these people get all of their art and reflection from dreams, and how like, if they beat a monster or something scary in their dreams, they just turn their back on it and take all the power away from it. And then they're fine and all this jazz and whatever. Great. Nancy's reading books on how to improvise booby traps.
Yeah.
She's got the anarchist cookbook.
Wait, no, she doesn't have the anarchist cookbook. Hold on.
No, she doesn't, but she does have improvised traps and stuff. Shut up.
I thought I had the booby trap one. I do have an anarchist cookbook, but I have an improvised munitions handbook, and she does some shit out of this one in
She
here.
does get some out of that. That's awesome. Honestly, I'm surprised Mel doesn't have those books. So that's her dream skills. That's her version of this.
Yeah.
The spiritualist BS that that Glenn is promoting.
This is I know I have a bad habit of jumping to the end of movies while we're talking about them.
That's all right.
But there's a thing at the end that always bothered me timeline wise.
Yes.
That I decided wasn't actually a problem after this viewing of the movie.
Okay, that's fun.
So we'll discuss that when we get there.
Okay, cool.
It just has to do with the booby traps. That's
right. Nancy goes home, and her mom has put bars on all. I think this is when she finds out their mom's put bars on all the windows
and
doors
torn down the trellis.
Torn down the trellis that Glenn would climb up.
Yeah.
And her mom takes her down the basement to spill the beans on Freddy's backstory.
Right.
How there was a child murderer named Fred Krueger, and he had killed like 20 kids on the street, and everybody knew it was him. Mm-hmm. And then they took him to court. There was a trial, and then there was some kind of thing where
technicality.
He gets off, and he's loose again. And so all the parents came together. They quartered him in some kind of boiler room setup, and then they doused the place in gasoline and lit him ablaze.
Yes. And this is the point where my 10-year, she's 11 now, but her birthday was yesterday. She was 10 when we watched the movie. This is the point where my 10-year-old says, "Oh, he's burned. That's why he could take his face off." Because earlier he slides his face off when
it's like he's also a dream monster, and that's why he could take his face off. But
I just thought it was funny. She's like,
whatever gets you there.
He's all burned up. That's why his face comes off.
Yeah, sure. That's why he looks like that. Sure. There is actually an awesome, I think it's the first episode of Freddy's Nightmares where they show that specific moment.
Really?
And it's tremendous because it's like all of these parents like run into this building, and it's very cool because Freddy his face isn't shown. His face is in shadow while the rest of him is...
Because they couldn't get Robert Englund.
No, Robert Englund hosts Freddy's Nightmares.
Like, but did he act in the segments as Freddy?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That's the idea.
I never watched it. I just assumed if they weren't showing his face, it was because they used somebody else to play him.
I don't know. It's weird. But he's like... maybe for that segment he was just like a scheduling conflict because he just sort of like narrates the stories like the Crypt Keeper, and then they're just sort of stories. But anywho, it's this weird moment where he's just like they rush in and he's just standing there and he's like perfectly still and he's just like, "Yeah, I did it, and I'm gonna kill again, and you can't stop me." It's like, even if you strike me down, I'll become more powerful than you can imagine. And so they light him up, and he laughs as he burns to death. Like, assured in his, demon vengeances, dream vengeanceness.
Well, they show that in one of the sequels. I forget which one, but like the demons come to him while he's burning, right?
Yeah, Freddy's Dead, Part 6.
Yeah.
They show the dream demons and everything, but this is that particular episode of Freddy's Dead shows the most of it because they show a little bit of the trial and all that jazz. And it's the cheesiest, which is why I
Of
prefer
course.
it as canon. But Nancy's mom tells her, you don't have to worry about it. The boogeyman can't get you because mommy killed him. And then she produces Freddy's glove for her,
Yeah.
which he's been hiding in the furnace. And Nancy's like, you really don't get it. Like, he's not a physical person anymore. He's in our dreams. Like,
Mommy made it way worse, actually.
yeah. Mommy doused him in vodka and used all that vodka. That's a sacrifice.
Mommy sacrificed a third of a bottle of vodka.
Mommy sacrificed a quarter of a bottle. Mommy sacrificed 2 glasses of vodka.
I tossed the shot what was left in the glass after I took a shot.
And I only sucked a little bit of it out of the fabric of his clothing
drip.
before. We lit him up.
Yeah.
What
I love is that she says, we doused him with gasoline, and puts her hand on a gasoline can that she keeps right next to the furnace.
Yeah. all the fire stuff in one place, Chris. I don't understand what the problem is.
Okay. Hey,
For
place
safety.
for everything and everything in its place.
Nancy makes plans with Glenn. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. Another thing I noticed on this watch, though, is the shot, the final shot of that scene.
Yes.
In the foreground up close is the sledgehammer and the spool of wire that Nancy will later use.
Wow, that's I never picked that up. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to mention the dogs playing pool tapestry that's hanging in the back.
No, I did see that, and I thought about it, and I was just like,
that's weird.
I just assumed that that's left over from when John Saxon tried to have a man cave before he abandoned his family.
Like it's just there. It's fine. It's set decoration. Nancy calls Glenn and talks with him about her plan, and she's like, I'm gonna go to sleep, and then I'll wake up, and then you come over, and I'll pull him out of the dream, and then you can get him. And he's like, get what? What? She's like, you're an athlete. Use a baseball bat or something, man. He's like,
be a man, Glenn.
He's like, my baseball bat's in the garage. It's weird. And we get some business with like Glenn, like trying to stay awake and stuff. He's listening to music while watching TV, which is it's an 80s tiny TV, man. It is.
Yeah.
Small
and
ugly.
he's in the 80s crop top man shirt.
Yeah. Showing
like
off
it
his
is
stomach.
just that still frame of him on that bed is all of 1984. Like
Listening to a record in the biggest headphones you can find.
Yep.
Watching this giant tiny TV that has just like a 5-inch screen and is black and white.
And weighs 90 pounds.
Yep. And his mom comes in and is like, hey, you need to get to bed. And he's like, oh, I was going to stay up. And he makes a joke like Miss Nude USA's coming on.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, like, how are you going to hear what she has to say if you're listening to your music? And he's like, why do I care what she has to say?
Yeah. That's not what he's there for.
He's not there for that. He's there for the masturbation. Mom! His parents, though, are getting fed up, especially her dad. Her dad is straight up pissed. He's like, this girl who's been traumatized by seeing her two of her closest friends die in front of her.
Uh-huh.
She's trouble.
Yeah, she should be over that and should not be affecting our son, her boyfriend, with her drama.
These shenanigans have to stop. And finally, she's trying to stay awake. She calls Glenn close to when she's planning on going to sleep. But I think this is no, it's not even yet. Okay, that's fine. But she tries to call Glenn before she's gonna go and start doing stuff and everything. And his mom picks up and is like, it's Nancy again. I just don't know. She wants to talk to Glenn. And the dad is just like, I've been talked to like this by parents.
Well, because
Glenn has to go to sleep. Go to like the end and like hangs up the phone. Like,
well, but she's trying to call him because she went downstairs to let him in as per the plan.
Right.
But there's a keyed lock on the inside.
On the inside.
Like, her mom hasn't just fortified the house, she's made it a prison.
And her mom is blackout on the couch like,
yeah.
I don't have the key.
And her mom's laying there, she's like, look, I don't have it. Like, just like, it would be right here if I had it. Don't have it.
That's where I keep keys when I have them.
No hope.
Not there. So
I
don't have the key.
And so that's why she's in a panic trying to call. The plan just went to shit because her mom's an asshole.
Right. His dad takes the phone off the hook, which
Yeah.
meant that you couldn't call them anymore.
That's
And,
right.
Nancy
It's
tries
important to
dial,
know that a landline
Right.
phone unhooked in the house meant none of the phones worked.
as we saw in Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Like, wait,
Um,
I said that in a way that sounded sarcastic, but it
That's
meant that
actually true.
none of the that none of the phones worked. All of the phones were on one line, and if one of them was off the hook, none of them could call or be called.
There are no calls. So yeah, she tries to like keep calling the number and everything, and eventually she gets Freddie, who tells her that is that what he says? Like, I'm your boyfriend now. I think.
Yeah, well, she snatched it out of the wall already.
That's right.
And thrown it on the bed, and then it rings,
And then it rings,
and that's Freddie,
and that's Freddie, and yeah, it's awesome.
the I'm your
Um,
boyfriend now.
Yeah,
And then it
and-
licks her with the
and
little
then
Freddie
it-
mouth.
yeah. The Freddie mouth comes out at the end and licks her.
Which again
Um,
is a thing he's coming out into the real world a little bit.
Yes. Um. Oh man. So I think that's about the time that Freddie takes Glenn.
Yes.
Glenn is asleep in his bed, and it's just Freddie's arms come up from either side under the mattress, grab him around the midsection, and pull him down. And I mean, like, he goes down, the TV goes down, the entire stereo goes down. This whole
It's like a
this whole bed.
sinkhole opens in the middle of the bed.
Yeah, and then just a geyser of blood shoots out, and
So
that
much.
is all that's left of Glenn. He has been liquefied.
And again, like, this is the scene that you were talking about, that they would use the room.
rotating
They
room.
basically redressed the rotating room, turned it completely upside down, and then dumped all of the blood through it. It's not
Yeah.
a jet blasting it up. And it's cool because it comes down and then pools across the ceiling.
Right.
And
That's
then they
awesome.
rotated it a little, because when the mom comes in and sees it's
Starting
kind
to
of
slosh to one
peeling
side.
off to a side. Yeah, and like
Yeah.
the drips are going off in weird directions, and
It's awesome.
it's amazing.
So the cops come, and we see an ambulance pull up, and the cop's like, "Yeah, you need a bucket. You don't need a stretcher, man."
Nothing for a stretcher, guys.
They're just collecting. They're putting buckets under the drips and the ceiling and stuff.
Downstairs, yeah.
And John
Oh.
Saxon's like, "What the fuck is going on in this town? Like, this is crazy. This is way worse than just like a knife or like he hanged himself. Like, this is bonkers. Like what is the he's like, what is the medical examiner think?" And he's like, "I don't know. He's been puking for the last 20 minutes. Like, it's really bad." So that's when Nancy calls Glenn's house again and is trying to talk to her dad. She's like, "Dad, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna find the killer and bring him to you, and you just need to come over here and arrest him."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Tell me where the killer is, and I'll go
Yeah.
get him." And he's just like, "Nah, it doesn't work like that." And
So this is the timeline thing that has always bugged me before, but now I don't think it's a mistake. So she tells him, come over in 20 minutes.
Right.
She says very specifically, come here and kick the door down in 20 minutes and I'll have him. But then she goes and talks to her mom, and she starts setting booby traps, complicated booby traps all over
she
the
puts
house.
her mom to bed, and then
Yeah.
she
She does all this stuff. I don't think that we're supposed to believe that stuff happened in 20 minutes, because Saxon is kind of dismissive. He's kind of like, yeah, sure, I'll come over in 20 minutes. And I think that she's been let down by all of the adults all the way through, and she knows he's not coming in 20 minutes. And that doesn't take 20 minutes to do. That takes however long it took.
I got
Because he
news for you.
doesn't actually come until she's breaking windows out and screaming at them to go get him.
I got one better for you, Chris. She says, "Come over in 20 minutes." Before she goes to bed to go get Freddie, she sets her watch for 10 minutes, which means all of that happens in 10 minutes.
Well, no, but she sets her watch after she sets the booby traps, puts her mom to sleep.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
Yeah, but I'm
That's
saying
10 minutes. And then another 10
No,
minutes
no.
would make it 20. That's when she wants her dad to come over.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that it wasn't 10 minutes. She said 20. He made it clear that he was not taking her seriously.
Okay.
And so she's like, fuck it, I got to do this myself. I don't think she was even going to set the booby traps. I don't think the booby traps were part of the plan until she realized her
Until she
dad
realized
wasn't
she was
going
on
to
her
come
own.
through for her. And that she
Interesting.
was going to have to fucking do this thing on her own.
No, I like that
I
interpretation.
think she was going to pull him out, and hopefully her dad would be there to do what she wanted Glenn to do.
But Chris, I mean, obviously she could get it done in 10 minutes. There was a montage.
That's true. That is true.
You gotta put one foot in front of the other, you know. Montage.
But no, it made so much more sense to me when I looked at it that way, because another grown-up didn't take her seriously. She's obviously the only one that knows what the fuck is going on. I guess I got to do it myself.
And
so then the timeline doesn't matter.
That's true. And then John Saxon's like, she's up to some shenanigans, and he puts a patrolman outside. She says, just watch my wife's house.
Yeah.
If something happens, come and get me. And then something happens, he doesn't come and get him. He takes kind of a while to come and get him.
And then he's finally like, maybe I should go get the lieutenant. Like, the guy told him, if something weird happens, come get me. And then Nancy breaks a window out and screams at him, hey, asshole, go get my dad.
And he's like, hey, it'll be all right. Something's happening over there, I think.
Yeah.
This is why you're still in a uniform, and John Saxon is wearing a shirt and tie. Yeah,
I think she has to shatter a second window and cuss at him some more before he does a single goddamn thing to be helpful.
True. It's true. And then so she sets the most technologically advanced watch from the 80s.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, I kind of blew us right past the setting up of the booby traps. I mean, she does the gunpowder and the light bulb.
I was going to talk about that when she actually sets them off and stuff.
Okay.
But so she sets her wristwatch, speaks to her, and says like alarm in 10 minutes.
Fancy. That's some War Games Tron shit there.
That is an amazing watch. So she puts on her pajamas and goes to fucking sleep. Nancy's final dream though, she gets up from her bed, goes downstairs, goes to the basement, where she finds now a door that leads to Freddy's boiler room. And she kind of walks in, and Freddy pops out to get her. And as they're kind of wrestling, as I say, on the ground, her alarm goes off, and she wakes up in bed. And there's a moment.
The alarm warns her that it's about to go off.
Sorry.
And he's chased her back to her house.
Right.
And so she sees that it's about to go off and doesn't even blink, just tackles the motherfucker. Nancy's a boss.
And she tackles him into like the pile of rose trellises that are still stacked in the yard are being torn off the house. And in fact, when she wakes up in her bed, she pushes a rose trellis off of her. Mm-hmm. And then it's a kind of moment of like, did it work? Did it not work? And then Freddy's there. And that's when she breaks her window and yells at the cop like, hey, get my dad, asshole. And he's like, probably just the wind.
Because she ran out and locked her door and set the first booby trap.
Right. He's like, you should just go back to sleep.
We got everything under control.
Everything's under control here. She added a deadbolt to her bedroom door, and then she has a rigged sledgehammer to swing down from the ceiling when the door does open. Runs downstairs to the living room and waits for Freddy, opens the door, and like everything affects him. He has to rip the door open because of the deadbolt. He gets the sledgehammer directly to his stomach, tumbles ass over tea kettle down the stairs, chases her into the living room, sets off a tripwire, which sets off an explosive in the lamp.
Yeah. It's a classic. You cut a hole in a light bulb and you fill it with gunpowder, and then the filament in the light bulb lights it.
Boom. Works like a charm. She lures him to the basement, and then because the basement has kind of like it wraps around, you could kind of
the stairs come down the middle. And...
she runs around behind him and douses him with gasoline while he screams and pleads for her not to, and then lights him ablaze. And it is, quite honestly, all things aside, it is a really impressive full burn stunt because this guy in the full burn. And like, mind you, a full burn is like layer of protective clothing, layer of fire retardant gel, costume. Hold your breath.
Yes.
He runs across the basement, runs up the stairs, falls back down the stairs, gets up, runs back up the stairs, falls back down the stairs.
Yeah. And that's a lot. I think there is uncut footage of it. Like for the movie to work, they cut back and forth, and I think it's a shame because
they do cut back and forth, and they do a lot of a slow-mo to kind of drag it out, but that was one take.
I know.
It's
that's what I'm saying. Like from a FX point of view, that's a legendary burn. Like people talk about that burn.
Yeah. It's crazy. So she finally gets back upstairs and breaks the tiny little window in the door and screams again, like, "Get my dad, you son of a bitch!" And finally the guy's like, "I should get her dad." So he finally goes and gets him in there.
I'll see if I can find someone to go get her dad.
I gotta watch the house in case something happens.
When I get back from my break, I'll get her dad.
Oh, that's gonna be, it's like 20 minutes to the next shift. That guy's gonna have a lot of trouble on his hands. So the dad comes over with the cops and breaks down the door, come running in, and she's like, "He's down the basement. Go get him. Get him, get him, get him, get him, get him." So they run down the basement, and Nancy's left at the top, and that's when she notices fiery footsteps leading out of the basement, around through the living room, and up the goddamn stairs.
Which means that he was like right on the other side of the wall when they ran into the basement.
Still fully ablaze, mind you.
Well, at least his feet.
Well, that's true. Well, when they get upstairs, so like what? He got upstairs and was like, and like lit himself up more. Like,
yeah, no, he was fully ablaze.
He's
the only
fully
way that
ablaze.
makes sense.
And in fact, if you watch it, there's like one footstep that's on fire that forms like a fire tornado, and like Heather Langenkamp becomes in serious danger for a moment. There's not a lot of hairspray in her hair.
Well, and she then goes and runs up the stairs next to these burning footprints. She's barefoot.
I know.
Like, on set, she was barefoot running upstairs that were on fire.
It's bonkers. So they her and her father follow the footsteps up to her mother's bedroom, where they find fully still engulfed in flames Freddy on top of her mother wrestling her. And the dad throws a blanket over the both of them just to put the fire out, because Freddy's the only one who doesn't know about stop, drop, and roll. And when he pulls this is where we're starting to push the surrealism element, like I was saying, towards the end of the movie. When he pulls the cover off, there's like a billow of smoke, and her mother's blackened corpse.
Yes.
Just a skeleton that's been burnt.
Hovering
over a blue smoky void.
Yes.
Raises its arm accusingly at them, pleadingly at them.
Yes.
Then falls back into the void and vanishes.
Yeah.
Along with the void.
That one particular effect is very like House on Haunted Hill, like old school, like
it's a very stiff kind of movement.
Yeah.
It's very it feels weird. It feels strange. And it's like, I mean, I get it. It's dreamlike. It's unusual. I'm not saying that. And like I said, like, I think there is a whole thing towards the end of this movie where we're really pushing that angle of like dreams
what's real
and reality.
And what isn't.
Yeah, dreams and reality are really bleeding into each other, and this is part of that.
Right.
But like they stand there staring at this empty bed, unblemished bed, and Nancy's just like, "I need to be alone for a second." And her dad just fucking leaves, like just closes the door behind him and gets the fuck out. And and Nancy calls out to Kruger, and Kruger emerges from the bed, and she has this whole conversation telling him like, "I get it now, man. You have no more power over me. I take back all the power I gave to you."
And she turns her back.
And she turns her back on him. And like I said, like, I feel like this is part of why Glenn lasted so long, because I think Glenn had this perspective of like, you cannot give any energy to them. You can't feed them fear. Whereas Nancy's been terrified the entire time. And this is the first time where she's not.
It's, Glenn's doesn't come across as dumb, but he is the jock. Like, he seems like life's easy for him.
Well, he's got that kind of Zen. It's not really there. We don't really delve much into the character, but he has that kind of like Zen, like he's reading Buddhist teachings and shit.
Well,
like
sure,
that.
but he also like Rod is a delinquent with a criminal record. Let's assume his home life isn't great.
Probably.
Tina's mom is a whore that runs off to Vegas with a boyfriend and leaves her teenage daughter alone.
Yeah.
Nancy's parents are divorced. Her mom's an alcoholic.
Mm-hmm.
Glenn, mom and dad still together. Nothing's wrong. Got his girlfriend across the street. He's good at sports. People like him. He looks like Johnny Depp. Things are going well for Glenn. And I think that he probably, honest to God, is a terrible target for Freddy, because in his dream, he's just going to be like, nah. Why would I be worried about you, man?
I feel like, because there's this whole thing of like, specifically the kids on Elm Street, Freddy, when he was alive, was targeting. I think Glenn moved like into that neighborhood when Nancy was like 11.
Yeah, but after they killed him.
Yes.
Like his parents weren't involved.
Well after, yes.
Yeah.
And
But
so
it's
they
like a
don't have the
Dunning-Kruger
same-
thing. Like I was talking to Amber was talking to me about this, the Dunning-Kruger effect, right? Hey, do
No.
you know what that is?
Nope.
It's the thing where dumb or unqualified people, the dumber they are, the more they think they know. They are
Oh, yeah.
unaware of how much they don't know, and so they come across really confident.
Right.
And they interview incredibly well, and they get jobs that they are not qualified for.
Yeah.
And they end up progressing dramatically just off of their belief that, yeah, of course I'm doing great. I'm great.
Right.
And
Right.
I
Confidence
feel like
counts for a lot.
that's what I sort of feel like he's in the dream. He's like, I just have to not be afraid of you.
And that
like
works
it's
against Freddy
simple to
Krueger.
him.
Yeah.
It's simple to him and it works.
Because he's a simple guy.
Yeah.
So she turns her back on him, and Freddy lunges at her back and vanishes into a shower of blue sparkles, and is gone. And Nancy gives one look behind her at his vanished state, and then walks out through the bedroom door and out her front door. Like, she goes from the bedroom door to the front door instantly.
And it's foggy and bright.
It's a foggy, bright, new sunny day. Her mother shows up, comes out the door behind her, and she's like, you know what? I don't think I need to drink anymore. I just don't care for it anymore. That sounds like me.
Everything's great now.
Everything's great. And then a convertible of all of her friends pulls up in front of the house. And Nancy's like, okay. And then she jumps into the car with them. And then the top of the convertible, this red convertible, pops up on top of them. And it's the red and green stripes of Freddy's sweater.
Yes. And apparently it came up way faster than it was supposed to. And the kids, like, shouting was a real response.
Their trepidation at it is real. And they have a moment where they kind of laugh at it, like, and then the windows roll up and they're like, well, I'm not doing that. This is doing it on its own. And then the car begins to move away on its own and stuff. And Nancy panics and calls for her mother, and her mother is just placidly waving on the front porch. And then it's the weirdest effect in the world, but
it's the worst effect in the movie. Easy.
I think that there's something to be said for selling the weird surrealism of it. Freddy's gloved hand smashes through the tiny window on the door, grabs her mother by the neck, and rips her back through the door. In what is clearly like an inflatable doll of Lonnie Langford.
Yeah, it's a bad lightweight mannequin that kind of wobbles its way into the door as it's snatched through. Like it's.
I get what they were going for. They wanted something really weird and surrealist and everything.
Now, Wes Cravens didn't want this ending. He wanted a happy ending that clearly had Nancy winning. And the producers, honestly, wisely, wanted ambiguity so they could make sequels.
We got to build a franchise, baby. Even though he gave them an ambiguous ending that doesn't really set up for sequels. Like instead, it just doubles down on the weird surrealism of the last 10 minutes of the movie, and ends with a way that you kind of go like, oh, okay, I guess it's over then, because it doesn't really make clear, like, did Nancy win? Did Freddy win? Did any of it even happen? We don't even know.
Yeah.
And it like I said, like when I first watched it, I immediately then watched Nightmare 2, and then immediately watched Nightmare 3. You know what I mean? Like, so watching it by itself, it's like, okay, what does this ending actually show you? What does it actually represent? And it represents very little other than like the dreamlike surrealism is taken over.
It kind of, but this was the first time I thought that, what if that ending is Nancy's mom's dream?
Interesting.
She's not actually dead until this ending. Like,
that's interesting.
But I don't know how that would. Again, it's hard to make it fit and neat.
And nobody has a good answer for it, because even in the continuity of the series, we don't bother addressing it. Nightmare 2, which I mean, like,
and Nancy survives. Nancy's alive in 3.
Nancy's alive in 3. She dealt with Freddy before. She defeated him before. That's all we know. Her friends died, so obviously they died. Maybe this was just one last surrealist dream moment for Nancy, just as like a parting jab from Freddy. Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a Nightmare on Elm Street. The modern classic.
I will say, if it is Nancy's dream, then it doesn't make sense that her mom dies after she's gone. She's off down the street and her mom dies and gets snatched through the window. That's what made me think maybe this is the mom's dream, because she's watching the kids drive away and then she gets killed. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's possible. But yeah,
Maybe it's John Saxon's dream. Maybe it's that dumbass cop that wouldn't go get him. Maybe it's his dream.
It's just his guilt dream.
Yeah.
Every night he wakes up like, God damn it.
Why do I keep having these weird fucked up dreams about the front of that house that I
drunk
was
broad
staring at?
That drunk broad would still be alive. Well, maybe not. Probably not. But she would have lived longer, certainly.
Yeah.
But that's Nightmare on Elm Street. It is near and dear to my heart.
Yeah. It should be.
My we will probably cover several of the sequels, if not.
I definitely want to do 3, and I definitely want to do Freddy vs. Jason.
Right. But my wife has tracked down damn near everybody from these movies and got to get autographs.
Yeah.
Including one of the stars of Freddy's Dead. She actually found him on Facebook and convinced him to do a convention.
Wow.
I'm still friends with him on Facebook.
I feel like we gotta mention the travesty of the remake because
It's
just
pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
well, but like to me, the main thing is that it just never should have happened, and that one scene obviously is a good indicator. They threw all the CGI and money at a scene that could have been done for $5.
It is weirdly emblematic of what's wrong with that remake in general.
Yeah. Well, but they did on paper. You got fucking Clancy Brown in this motherfucker. You got Kyle Gallner's in it.
You've got a solid cast. You got a solid
cast
budget.
is incredible. Jackie Earle Haley. Like when I heard they were doing a remake, and then I heard Jackie Earle Haley was playing Freddy. That was the only thing that made me think, hey, maybe. But even with all of this stuff, and I believe the directors and everybody really were trying to do justice.
I think so.
It just didn't need to happen and never should have, and so it sucked.
It feels like overworked, like we're trying too hard to think about, okay, how can we reinvent this? How can we make this modern? How can we do all this? And it's like, you have to eventually you have to hit to a point where you're like, the original's pretty perfect. I don't think we have more to say.
No.
In remaking the original. I will tell you this. Okay. The guy's name is Sean Greenblatt.
Okay.
That's
familiar.
He plays John Doe. Probably because I've told you about him before.
Maybe.
Mel made friends with him on Facebook and talked to him. And apparently she was like the only Nightmare on Elm Street fan to ever really reach out to him.
Really?
She got him to go to Monster Mania, and I remember going to that Monster Mania and seeing like the first thing we did, like, we got to go see Sean. This is his first and probably only convention. We got to go see how he's doing and everything. And we go up to we go through the room, we find what room he's in, we go up to the room, we see his table. And he's talking to somebody, and we're like, "Oh, good, he's talking to somebody. Somebody's talking to him. That's good. That's what you want. You don't want him just sitting there like, well, I guess I'm here. He seems like he's doing good and everything. We're like, okay, we'll hang back, we'll wait because we want him to have his fan interaction and everything. In the middle of talking to this random person, Sean Greenblatt looks up at Mel and me and goes, "Mel, Joe, hi!" Like, fuck that guy. Comes out from behind the table, gives us big hugs and everything. It's amazing.
He was in Chopper Chicks in Zombie Town.
His daughter is Ariana Greenblatt. She's been in a bunch of stuff.
Okay, she
was in the Borderlands movie. She's been in several things.
Okay.
She's a Disney kid. Which is pretty awesome. He was in a couple of movies and then he kind of just retired. He kind of just he kind of slipped off the radar. But he's a super sweet guy, super nice dude. Like I said, I'm still friends with him on Facebook.
Nice.
I love Sean to pieces. So Johnny Depp is like the only name that she's hasn't been able to get a signature.
It's a big one. That's a hard one to run down.
Yeah.
You got to tell him you're a sick kid that wants to meet Captain Jack.
And then you inject him with the famous Hollywood knockout drugs.
Yeah.
You're not going to have eyeliner on while you talk to me, Glenn.
Put these headphones on. Oh, that is something that I was noticing a lot more stuff, but I really made note of the fact that in that final dream, when she's in the boiler room, she finds Tina's cross, Rod's knife, and Johnny's
headphones.
Glenn's headphones.
Wow.
She finds an artifact of each of the dead kids.
Wow, I never noticed that. That's
Yeah.
cool. Wow. Okay, that's cool. I have to pay more closer attention next time I see that.
Yeah,
That's
because she
awesome.
picks the headphones up and they say Glenn on them.
That's right, and that's how she knows that Glenn is dead. She didn't actually have confirmation. Like,
No,
well,
yeah.
she knows that, you know,
She knows.
She
All
knows.
the cops are over there and everything, but
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah. So, are we gonna
sequelitis?
do? Yeah.
Sequelitis. I have a sequelitis.
Okay.
Continue, go.
Mine's a pretty short, more of a concept.
Mine's
Like
pretty short,
mine
too.
usually are. Yours are long and involved, and
This is a tough one because I have seen so many. There are so many sequels,
well,
and I
yeah,
know where the series goes. But
of
go
course.
ahead. Go ahead.
So mine would be, you know, I wouldn't want to replace the
Robert
number
Englund.
2, the second one,
Yeah. Okay.
Freddy's Revenge, or
Yes.
it's Freddy's Revenge, right?
Freddy's Revenge. Yes.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to replace that, but that's what my sequel would replace that
Okay. Yeah,
before going
obviously.
into Dream
Dream
Warriors.
Warriors.
And basically it would continue to follow Nancy, but now she's studying these occurrences
Okay.
of dreams becoming real.
That's neat.
And she finds a group of kids that are having a similar but much less intense and not deadly series of dreams where they're all dreaming of the same scary thing.
Okay.
But Nancy's presence would draw Freddy into this situation where he would basically destroy the thing that's bothering these kids.
Right.
Because to him it's just a little thing.
Yeah.
It's a minor dream demon that's
Boogeyman,
living
yeah.
off of their fear or something,
Right.
you know.
Right.
So they're all dreaming of the same thing, and it's weird and it's scary, and it is structurally the same as Freddy, but it's not as dangerous until he shows up and basically takes over the infrastructure that this lesser dream demon has established
Right.
in order to kill these kids and fuck with Nancy.
Right.
So that's how I would get there.
That's cool.
And so she would end up fighting him on her way to Dream Warriors once.
Well, that's interesting. That's cool. That's fun. I like that. You know, like it'd be cool to see that kind of connective tissue and everything.
Well, I like the idea of expanding that it's, you know, he's not, it's still a weird occurrence, but he's not 100% unique in being a dream demon. Like this is
Yeah.
a thing that happens in the world, and
Right.
there are levels to it, and it's kind of a nebulous world that can be navigated and used to access people and places.
He's unusual because he's actually deadly, and they usually aren't.
Yeah,
And
he's
yeah.
he's overpowered in that realm.
Interesting. I went with just like forget all the sequels. Let's do something totally different. Blah 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 blah. The film ends with a fully surreal ending that suggests that Nancy did not win against Freddy. So the next one starts with her just like how the first one ends, and then she wakes up in bed in a hospital. And we go on to suggest that actually after the sleep study, she never woke up. Like everything from the sleep study after was a dream. And she's actually been in a coma for a few days. As things go on, we get like, she's kind of just like being shuffled around this hospital, not being taken seriously. We get little like scares and weirdness that show that Freddy is around.
So wait, is Glenn dead then?
We're fully nebulous. Like nobody will tell her what's going on outside of the hospital. Like she is just like locked up in a mental ward. And she starts to see like, oh, the nurse turns into Freddy, and then it's not Freddy anymore, and it's fine. And stuff like that, like little moments and everything that make her question her own sanity. And then she gets visits from like different friends and stuff, some of which she already saw die, and some of which died after she had the dream and stuff. And so she doesn't know what is or isn't real anymore. And like people are telling her like, no, Tina did not visit you. Tina's dead. Are you not able to deal with that? You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. And finally she realizes what's been going on. Cause my idea is more of like, is kind of Jacob's laddery, like it's kind of a slow build of surrealness and weirdness. And finally she realizes her soul was taken by Freddy. And this is him like torturing her in the dream realm to try to finally like break her so he can feed on her fear. But what it actually comes is that every time he's actually like essentially conditioning her so that she becomes actually like less fearful every time. And because he's just like trying every time like things go back to like he'll scare her and then things will revert back to normalcy, and then he'll try a different tactic to scare her worse next time. And in the end she just like loses fucking control and flips the fuck out. And so instead of like breaking mentally and being just consumed by fear, she just is consumed by rage and loses her shit. And literally like tears him apart. Like,
Nice.
like overpowers and rips him apart, which releases her friend's souls. And so broken and powerless, Freddy flees in terror from her. And she starts to take on like demonic dream demon features and pursue him into like the dream dimension with the intention of making him show her a way to bring her friends back. And then that would lead into further sequels.
I see. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. It does a better job of using the surreality of it all.
Yeah, like
really...
I figure like we kind of built that to like a head at the end of the first movie.
Yeah.
And then like further sequels don't kind of do that. They kind of like we are establishing rules and we are following these rules.
Yeah, the thing that they do a good job of hanging with is transitioning into dreams before you realize it.
Yes.
That kind of becomes the hallmark. Like,
Yeah.
oh
Yeah,
shit,
yeah,
like
yeah.
realizing, oh shit, we're in a dream.
Right.
You know?
Like when I like just closed my eyes for a second and then I opened them, I actually fell asleep.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Yeah, you know.
I will say they did a good job on a few of those transitions in the remake. Like there was some quality all of a sudden you're in a dream and you didn't see it happen.
Right.
But still not worth it.
No, I don't think so. But that was my sequelitis.
No, I like that.
That is that's all we have to say. That's all I have to say
I
about
think
Nightmare on Elm Street.
that's what we got. We ran a little longer than usual, but it's still way better than a 3-hour rambling opus.
Well, I do have more to say about the films and everything, but there's at least a couple of sequels that I want to get to.
Yeah.
For sure. But yeah, we'll save that till then.
But this has been the final episode of what will be season 1. We've been doing this a year, man.
1 year, man. That's crazy. That's crazy.
I mean, technically, at the time of this recording, it's not a year from our first recording, but this will be the last one released before
the next one, essentially.
Before the year turns.
Yeah.
On In the Veins.
Yes.
So because our very first movie that we covered officially. That isn't lost.
Yes.
Was Evil Dead, the first one.
Evil Dead. Yes.
So then obviously the next one we're going to do is
Evil Dead 2.
Hell yeah.
Dead by Dawn.
I'm very excited. I hadn't, honestly, I've seen it a million times, but it's been a minute.
Yes.
It's one of those I watched so many times that it kind of got shelved for a long time. I haven't watched it in a while. And I am excited to revisit it. And my kid wants to watch it, so
I'm super pumped for it, especially like I remember as fast as the first one moved, because that's one of the big impressions that I got from watching it for this podcast was just like the plot, the story, the scene by scene progression is just one thing after another. This one I remember moves at a faster clip. Like things really go crazy.
Well, and they run through the events roughly of the previous movie real quick early on. And Bruce Campbell has explained that there is a way to watch the first and second one where, like, from the moment that he gets possessed at the end of the first one,
right?
If you cut straight into a certain part of the second one, it all works as a continuous thing. So I'm going to pay attention to that when I watch it this time.
Yes.
I'm going to look up that video and hear Bruce Campbell say that and then watch it.
I can't wait. As of the time of this recording, Evil Dead 2 actually just dropped on Shudder. Not that I did it. I've got at least 3 copies of it to watch.
I've got it on VHS, DVD, and Blu-ray, I believe.
I've got at least 2. I have 2 different editions on DVD and 1 on Blu-ray.
Yeah, I have
it's tremendous. I can't wait for season 2 of In the Veins.
In the Veins.
Crazy. I will see you then.
Yep. I have been Chris.
I have been Joe.
And this has been In the Veins.
In the Veins.
All right. Oh, there we go.
There's nothing to worry about. You're gonna be just fine.
You'd be surprised at the things you find when you go looking.
God, it knows I'm here.
Clear your minds. It knows what scares you. It has from the very beginning.
I'm plunging headfirst into some kind of black void of sheer, utter madness.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
It is entitled Naturan de Manto, roughly translated Book of the Dead.
You're gonna die up there.
some videotapes.